So this is a 13K hour Payday 2 player reacting to Payday 3 gameplay. This one is the loud gameplay. Now we're going to be skipping through some of the videos here. Not skipping through like everything, but kind of just getting to the meat and the potatoes, you know. So we might kind of watch a little bit of this, but we'll skip soon if it nothing going on. So we've seen this bank already in the what you call it, the trailer. So there's nothing really different from the trailer to what we've already are currently seeing. The mask up phase, as you see in your screen, went a little dark there. No animations for anything currently. How do you know how many cable ties do you have? It has an in-game crosshair already by default. It seems the hostages are highlighting. I mean, currently, everything I've seen isn't like too much new content. You traded civs, you tied a bunch up, and then now you've got a human shield. Like, that's not too much content for the new game currently. Few things I want to mention though is that this trading system is okay, but I'm not sure how like the custody scenario plays out yet. Like, do you need civilians to still trade a custody player? Or, you know, what's the deal? Because you're trading them all at the start, but is there other tactics involved? You know, meaning like something like that. Like, will they need to only trade a certain amount and then keep a civilian for, you know, later in the heist or something? So I guess killing these guys doesn't matter from what he's doing here. He's straight killed all the cops and traded the civ still. So I mean, sure doesn't matter. And it's gonna cut through some people's perspectives. I just heard cops have some different voice lines. See, the reload in this game just is too slow. I can already mention that immediately. The running doesn't look too good. They lean too far forward. I'm not a big fan of the new lady voice robot thing. Now this is really cool. He threw a camera on the wall and you're kind of like getting extra intel. Like, obviously that's never been in Payday before, to where you can have a remote camera, throw it on the wall, and then use it as like a helpful scenario. That feels really scripted to me though. Like, that whole scene, that really felt scripted to me. But you can already see the uses for that. Like, you can watch a flank, or you can, you know, hold a bottleneck on some point of the map with a camera and know when things are coming. You know what I mean? Like, there is some good ideas with that camera. Like, if it's a stealth tool, like, can you use it in stealth maybe? If so, then you can kind of throw it in places, and, you know, maybe you're coming back to that area and you need to see, you know, maybe where's the guard at? You know, that'd be a good scenario for that camera. I mean, in loud, it's not as many uses. There's a lot of bullets to shoot and kill somebody. So far, not too bad. New voice lines I just heard again. So loud out of nowhere. So he had to take 2 things of ammo to refill his ammo there. The reload in this game, from what I'm seeing currently, just seems like it's too focused and forced onto showing you an animation. Like they want to, they want you to see him flick the mag off and ram the mag in. Like it's too much of a focus right there. They're focusing too hard on it, is what I'm saying. Like it's too long of a reload, I feel. Body blocking. So a big thing in Payday 2 that was extremely annoying is body blocking. And we had just witnessed in this cutscene here that body blocking exists in Payday 3. As you can see right here, he's trying to run through the door and the cop is conveniently in the door like they're in Payday 2 every fucking time. So therefore, body blocking is a thing from Payday 2 that'll reach on to Payday 3. God damn it, dude. God damn. I hate body blocking, man. See, I'm not a big fan of the sight. Like, this optic is just the worst. Like, I can't get a good picture of it. Oh my god, it just keeps getting worse. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, this optic, like a half circle with a line with multiple lines on it. And this is something that I wanted to mention right here. You get 3 weapons under certain scenarios. It covers half screen. What covers half the screen, my friend? I'm not 100% certain as to what you're referring to. But as you see here, we have 3 weapons. That was a thing in Payday the Heist. It possibly might be a thing in Payday 3. But one thing I want to mention is that when you get the weapon here, I don't think it's the best option to be using it on like barely any cops. This would probably be something you'd want to use on like dozers or like a massive group. If the game is randomly going to be rewarding you a grenade launcher, you know? Right here, you kind of see the slide animation again, which is not really caring for. Sniper they seen right there. I don't know if you guys had caught it, so I'll go ahead and bring it back. Right there, you guys see a sniper laser. So if you guys remember in the gameplay trailer, this area had like a sniper, like in this area, and like you was running this way, and like you hit your phone. So like they're kind of, because obviously they've probably played the mission, you know, a few times, or these are the, you know, the very scripted gameplay, you know what I mean? I'm saying, like, regardless of what it is, like they know where the van spawn is, so therefore they're kind of getting their bags in that area. So what was shown in the gameplay trailer, you know, that may be an alternative exit or something, like going that way or coming from this way. You know, I'm not really sure. The scope itself, that's why scopes have such, they're clean and don't cover much view. I mean, like I had mentioned in my other review for this, or reaction video, is that it seems that they're trying to go for like more scopes based gameplay in this, you know, maybe version Payday 3, but I wouldn't personally use that scope with that reticule. I'd use a dot. More body blocking right there is another instance of body blocking. He drops something red, which I'm not really sure what that is. A grenade maybe. So a cops drop grenades. You have armor bags in this game, which I'm sure play a different role than Payday 2. See, like, once again, I feel they take your focus too far on the reload animation. They're like putting too much focus on to like the player wanting to show you how cool a reload is. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't need to be that flashy. Pretty much that's the rest of the gameplay. They're just standing here waiting for the van, and I'll show you guys the ending. So now when you guys actually enter the van here, it brings up on screen the amount of players in the van, you know? So it's not always just like, oh, well, who's in the van? Now you'll be able to know how many players are in the van by it appearing on screen. But this is the last part I want to mention about this. You actually have a cooldown before it ends. Watch. You escape in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So what would happen Because I don't know how, because I know how it is in Payday 2. If everyone dies, like the game kind of like, you know, gives you like 10-15 seconds and then the game just ends. um, I don't know how it's gonna be in Payday 3. Like, will it be the same kind of concept where you're kind of, you know, playing in that same fashion of every, you know, maybe that amount of time. Wait, there are gonna be what all noobs will drop and eat within 2 minutes. Yeah, the armor bags, of course, man. Right. So now let's go ahead and get to the next video here. We'll go ahead and do the bank again, just because it's the same map. Game looks good. Yo, what's up, my man Blood Rave 375? I appreciate you joining the stream. I'm reacting to the Payday 3 gameplay currently. I actually have these videos on my YouTube. So if you want to go check them out, they're there. Me being a player that has, you know, over 13,000 hours in the game of Payday 2, that's why I'm reacting and giving my actual opinions on the game for Payday 3. I would go HD, but I don't know if the stream can handle it, Flavio, so unfortunate. I don't know, we'll try. Stream dies, it's on Flavio. So it's pretty much the same process as like Loud. They're just gonna walk into the bank and kind of, you know.
What do you mean? Not real coffee?
It's not real coffee. You gotta love the civilians' voice lines. So in this game, you see the hand pops up when you point at things. It pops in chat, so be ready for some chat spam. So it seems that you can interact with things while in Kxng modes. Kxng mode. You can crouch in Kxng mode. You can open doors in Kxng mode. There's functionable doors. Oh my god. It's not a door that just opens. Is that what I just seen? Can you close the door? That's huge, dude. Imagine doing that in Loud. Can you close it? Did it say he could close it? Dude, that's wild.
Alright, now disable the switch box's security. The controls are in the power room upstairs.
So I kind of like the idea of being able to stealth without, like, having your mask on. That's not the worst idea, honestly. Just done the final heist, had to get it done as a team. I'm no good at puzzles. Epic soundtrack. Wait, what is it, Blood Rave? I'm sorry. Are you talking about Payday 2 heist? Are you talking about the Payday 2 heist?
Look out, Massive.
Let's see if... So your phone hacks things, so it's better than an ECM jammer, essentially.
I'll need you to come with me. This area is restricted.
Oh, so this is like Hitman mechanics. I don't know if you guys ever played like Hitman 2016 or Hitman 2 or Hitman 3 or Hitman World of Assassin. But if you get caught in a trespassing zone, well, it depends. But in most scenarios, like if you get caught in a trespassing zone, if you actually, like, you know, follow what the guard says, like if you stop moving and stuff and kind of just like listen and follow him and stuff, like this is what happens. They pull you out of the area that you're in and they walk you back to the area that you're supposed to be in. That I find interesting, and that actually makes the stealth mechanics and the stealth gameplay of Payday 3 like more worthwhile. So things they've said about Payday 2 every time about stealth is that it always feels incomplete. It feels just, you know, like it's not a complete, you know, way of playing. So seeing that there's different things added in stealth already for this game, that's, I'm not saying it makes me excited for stealth, but that's interesting to see because I'm not a stealth player, but I do like to try it here and there. So it may be fun to try out some stealth here for this game. But this is an interesting concept. So you don't really get, I don't know how many chances you get. Yo, did you throw the camera on him? What? Tell me that works.
Stay out of the restricted areas, got it?
I mean, that's kind of like the worst animation, in my opinion. He like, gets all weird and when he talks to you. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Stay out of the restricted areas.
Like, look
got
at his
it?
arms and his, like, body posture, and then he goes back to walking normal. Like, that's not the best animation. But what I did find interesting there is that the player was able to throw, like, a camera on his shirt. So I wondered if that is gonna, like, aid players in keeping locations of guards. Because you people used to use, like, trip mines and stuff. There could be limitations on Payday 2 engine. I mean, the stealth mechanics have always been, like, incomplete feeling, for me at least. But I've never been appealed to the stealth in Payday 2. Nor am I saying that I'm appealed to the stealth in Payday 3 either. So it is very interesting to see that the camera plays a role like this. You can literally see where the guard's walking. Oh! Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me hear that one more time before I say what I'm about to say.
Jesus, what now?
What the fuck? Why would they put this in the footage and allow people to post this footage? I just realized. So I guess the camera, as it's on his back, you can use it to kind of like have another teammate, you know, get in position to kind of like take him down. But what I just realized and noticed is that the camera like explodes, so it kind of like stuns the cop. But with the poor mechanics it must be of the game, as he was going to grab the cop started reacting like, "Huh, what was that noise?" Like, what the heck? How could you have left that in the footage?
Jesus, what now?
Jesus, what now? As he's literally getting put in a chokehold, he's literally talking normal. It's like, come on. Hold on. And the okay, so this right here, I don't know how. Like, this is cool in theory. Like, this is the same thing I said about the game Crime Boss. They have the little pick lock mechanic when you're picking, like, doors and, like, glass cases with jewelry and stuff. It's cool to see it first, but, like, it really defeats itself after you have to do it multiple times over and over and over again. And that's what this is going to be right here. This whole grab someone up with a human shield and then have to spam the F button like fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just going to defeat itself immediately. Especially being a game like Payday 2 or Payday 3, I should say. And then it's like the worst pass out animation too. Like, come on. Maybe the other attempts were worse. They might have been. See, this whole phone hack thing is very interesting. It brings a new aspect to the game for stealth, obviously. So they've added some more integrated things for stealth, obviously here. That must be the pager icon, the red glowing thing. And once again, this defeats itself every time you see it. You have to literally precisely look at a person, by the way. If you noticed, he was looking at him there, and he had to look at him a few times to actually get the right position to, you know what I mean? Like, he's literally looking at him, but he's not getting the prompt. And then he, like, looks right there, and he gets the prompt. And then it's like, okay, yeah, like, they need to make the circle hitbox for that a little bit bigger. And then also notice that there's no choking sound or any reaction or anything sound-wise until the end. It just makes a generic and then once again the animation of dropping the ped. Not the best animation. Something I just noticed in the background there. The camera is showing stuff. I don't know how real that background footage is though. It may not be like real footage. It may be like scripted footage that plays, but I'm not sure. They have new voice lines for pagers, as I just seen. No animations for anything. To me, once again, the graphics look like a mix between like Payday the Heist and like a wannabe Crime Boss.
That's the switch
This is what I want to know. No one has moved when they've interacted with anything. Does that mean you can't move with interactions anymore? Because you know how in Payday 2, when you interact with something, you can like look to the left, you can like look to the right, you can like look up, you can look down. But in like Payday the Heist, when you interacted with something, you was locked to where you was looking. From what I've seen so far, every time the players have not moved when they've interacted with something. That doesn't mean that you can't move with interactions, but from what I've seen so far, no one has moved during an interaction. So that's not a good sign. Players don't want that. Look at their run, dude. The run animation's so busted, dude.
This could be something.
So it didn't really seem RNG based. He searched one thing, and that one thing turned into a pile of papers that disappeared as he let it fall. So, not the best animation for that either. That's something you would have seen in Payday 2. Nice that you can highlight sieves, I will mention that. So they must knew it was white or something. I don't know, honestly.
To get into the vault.
That's something that I wanted to mention, but it wasn't shown too much in loud. The aiming down the sights in this game literally like gets so small. Watch. Boom, it's so small. Like, what? Like, to me, that's not ideal. Like, your pistol's, like, large, and then it gets, like, really, really, really tiny on the screen. Like, that doesn't seem the most ideal for me, at least. I don't know how ideal it is for everybody else, but that's not ideal for me.
Civilian.
See, like, that seems like scripted footage. It seems like you wanted the people watching to know that you could mark civilians or something. Once again, no sounds, like barely, when you're grabbing him up and choking him and shit. Like, this guy had a little bit of sounds. See, like, shit, let me go! But it was like such a scripted voice line. Like, it wasn't paired together with him getting, like, you know, choked and shit. It wasn't, none of it was paired together.
We've got the code. Now, use it to open the vault.
So is it on screen? That's kind of some small... So there's 4... Hold on. There was 4 codes there. There has been an unscheduled request to open the vault without manager's confirmation. Contact security immediately. But then there's 4 codes at the top. So does that mean any of the codes work, or you have to just know which one works? Because that's interesting. Are you supposed to identify certain things? Because it didn't specifically show. That's not a thing I was a fan of in Payday 2, is that you had to manually click shit like that.
As soon as the door opens, you need to move fast.
So hopefully in this game, like, the actual, like, pressing is probably better than it is in Payday 2, because you'll be looking at, like, 5 and it'll press, like, 8. You know what I mean? Or you'll press 2 or something. Hopefully actual money, like the money that your character has, is, like, worth something in this game, unlike Payday 2. Because I seen that he picked up loose cash, so that must indicate that it might be worthwhile grabbing that stuff. And then once again, it's the same ending here, where you kind of have all your players get in, and then 3, 2, 1 escape. I mean, some more actual content for stealth, right? Like, if you're a stealth player, you're probably happy seeing that stuff. Pressing is perfectly fine. Wait, what is it, Flavio? What you mean? Pressing is perfectly fine. Pressing what? My bad. What did I say? This one, we may not watch the full one because we've already kind of, or about 20 minutes in. 23. Pressing buttons. Imagine pressing buttons. So this one, you spawn on the shore side. This one was a completely clickbait thing for, you know, all this background. All this background is like, what's it called? I just had the word in mind. I can't think of it now. But essentially, it's just like texture in the background. Like, none of it's like real. Like, if you actually got up and close to it, it'd be like really poorly textured. So like all this stuff in the background is just, it was just for like the trailer for Steam and shit. Like, you know, you face this way because it's nice and pretty and stuff. But like, you know, once again, this seems like a very scripted, you know, footage after watching it, because you slowly turn perfectly to watch it. Like, what player does that? You're not gonna play like that. Even if it's your first time, like, you're not gonna play like that. So once again, it seems like some really scripted gameplay. Like they were told to play a certain way. Like, that's what it kind of feels like. Oh, don't turn around instantly. Turn around after a few seconds and turn slowly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And they seem to already know exactly where they're going. So, you know, that's something to point out.
Be extra careful as you're going into the exhibition rooms.
Once again, the radio lady sounds like an AI robot
We should check the
person.
computer in the manager's office to make the search easier. Why don't we start in exhibition room E1? We already know that's where shooting gallery redux is.
And then once again, chat spam. Anytime you guys mark something, chat literally just pops it open. And this is another one of those scenarios where it's just like how Crime Boss integrated pick locking things in the game. It was really cool to see at first, but like it defeats itself after having to do it a bunch. I'm going to assume that's how this is going to play out. You're going to have to manually press a button and then move your character along it. Like, that's going to defeat itself very quickly. I don't think that's going to be a mechanic people are going to be really fine-tuned to have.
Gallery recently installed QR readers for the exhibition room lock.
At least, in my opinion. I'm not going to be
QR code.
totally psyched about having to always manually cut stuff and manually move my mouse across to cut things. Now, this is something that's interesting once again about stealth. The new stealth mechanics bring like new things like lasers and sensors and not just cameras and guards. Now there's other things you have to worry about. Once again, kind of interesting. Not like makes me excited or anything. So immediately the door was unlocked, so you must have like key assets or something. I'm not too sure. So as you see here, as he's hacking the camera, they kind of like already give away like a little strat. You can literally be like dead looking at a camera and just get on your phone and hack it, and it seems, just from what it seems that you're hacking it faster than it's going to see you, so therefore that strategy should pretty much work almost every time. If you're needing to get a camera out of the way and the camera's seeing you regardless, you know, the strategy is going to be try and, you know, hide until your meter's gone, then pull your phone out and immediately try to start hacking it as it's upon seeing you, because as you've seen, you should hack it faster than it's seeing you. I don't know if it's a good idea, but they've kind of teased it a little bit right there. Just a little bit of a tease, you know? So now they're on the camera that they just hacked. I went ahead and skipped a little bit because once again, this is a little bit longer on this one. So the camera you can make... See, this is another one of those things. I was mentioning this on the staircase when he threw the camera on the guy. Let me go ahead and break it down for you once again.
What was that noise? Huh? What's that?
So the dude's literally... But instead of him reacting like that, huh, what was that noise? What was that? Completely reacting to the sound of the player that, or reacting to the sound that the player made, but then it's like it's literally not matching what you're doing. Because then you're putting him in a fucking chokehold, you're shocking him, tasing him, right? And then that's the response that the game is going to give you, and you got to keep this in mind. This is a game coming out in 2023. This is a game that's had like 10 years of hype, you know, because of Payday 2, right? How is that a choke? Dude, just chill. So you're saying that this is valid though? Watch.
What was that noise? Huh? What's that?
Huh? What's that? Like, dude, that's something you'd literally see in like fucking like Thief Simulator or fucking like something like that. That's the reaction of what you would see, like a drug dealer simulator. Dude, that's literally what you would see, and that is what you see in Drug Dealer Simulator. What the fuck? That is how the cops act in Drug Dealer Simulator, actually. You'll make a noise, they'll be like, well, what was that? It's like, bro, they'll literally be looking at you but be like, what was that noise? Oh man, that's fuck. Beta. Yeah, but I can't believe they put this in the footage though. Like, this is literally like, I just don't understand.
What was that noise? Huh?
So what I will say about this though, it is really cool that you can make a camera kind of explode and shock a person when they're close to it. That's pretty interesting. They need to fix that because that's just the silliest thing I've ever fucking witnessed. And then once again, this whole choke him out, no sound, no choking or anything, and then as soon as he gets choked out, makes a random you know what I mean? Like, that needs to get fixed. This whole animation of dropping the body is just, like, terrible. That one was weird. I guess he's picking the body up. But he put the body on his shoulders, so you don't actually see it anymore. And then he's answering the pager. So answering the pager consists of using your phone now.
The security bars on the ground.
No sound for some reason. That was interesting. He's carrying the body, and then when he went and dropped it, it just was like, it just like appeared there and just dropped straight down. Not the best animations once again, but it is a new mechanic. So they're just waiting for the laser sensor thing here. So he jumped over to that. I'm not 100% certain as to why. Closing the door. So you can just shoot any cameras. Interesting. So can they not touch the floor? I didn't totally see that the first time. Or are they trying to just get out of the way of the sensor? Maybe that's the idea here. So either they were standing on those things to try and hide from the sensor, or it just was couldn't stand on the floor or something, I don't know. So once again, shooting cameras in this game doesn't seem to be alerting anything or something, I don't know. Seems that the lasers are just on a pattern maybe, and there's always going to be a box located in the room to switch it down, which seems to be, you know, straightforward. Once again, I'm not sure how the pagers work in this game, but if it's controlled by a camera room, that'd be interesting.
What's the guard?
The camera footage in the background once again. Dropping. You gotta love that animation, dude. So there's only specific things that just meant. Okay, so this is something that I've already seen. And even the person that was here on screen, like, just press the button and then realize that they have to actually do it, right? Like, watch. He presses the button and then realizes he has to actually cut it. So, like, once again, it looks cool at first that you have to sit there and manually cut it because, you know, oh, it's so merciful, it's so cool, I'm robbing this place. But, like, after some time of actually playing this game, like, I don't know if that's gonna be fun. Sitting there continuously having to cut things like that. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be fun. I mean, the rest is pretty straightforward. The same thing, pretty much. Search for phone. The civilian was, why is anybody doing anything? They punching. That's like how it is on like the guard on First World Bank. He, anytime you ever tell him to get down, he gets down, but then he like stands right back up and then gets right back down. It's like, dude, I'll fucking kill you, dude. Like, get down. And then this right here, once again, another mechanic of like, it's cool to see it first, but then after having to do it a bunch, like, this isn't gonna be fun. Having to sit here and open a lock. At least in my opinion, that's not gonna be a fun thing. Like, this isn't Bully, like the Rockstar game. This isn't Grand Theft Auto 5, where you have to manually open safes in certain missions. Like, I don't know if that's the idea that we want in Payday 3, technically, but this is my opinion. Another scenario of just kind of like walking across the map, so I'll go ahead and fast forward that. I'm not too sure what he was doing there. Spectrophotometer. Not really sure what that is. Maybe it's scanning the picture to steal it or something.
That's the right one.
Or it's just authenticating pictures.
Juice out of the drive, so make sure you've picked the right painting.
Wait, what? So like there's maybe like certain paintings you gotta find and authenticate that they're real, and then I guess you only have one chance to use your USB drive or something. I'm not sure why that's the mechanics made there, but okay. I love how most of the things on the map are just like highlighting as you're like close to it. I don't know, I'm not saying I actually like that, but I don't know why that's a thing. At least the character, that was an animation right there. I don't know if you guys caught that. So like in Siege, when you're vaulting over something, like the game takes control of your character and then gives you control after the animation is done. That is what just happened here. He had to like press space, or he had pressed a button, and then the game manually throws him over the cover onto the other side of the wall. Not the biggest fan of that, because Payday 2 is like you actually have control of your movement, while Payday 3 must have some things like that. I can't say I've seen too much jumping, but I have seen the jump earlier. So I was gonna say I don't know how relevant jumping is in this game. And it seemed to make the meter go away instantly, so as soon as he stopped getting seen, the meter went away immediately. This is one thing I want to mention about this. In Hitman, since they took the kind of aspect of Hitman with getting seen in an area and then they tell you to go back. In Hitman, when you were to get seen and your meter gets filled like this, like if your meter were to get filled like 75% in Hitman, the guard is gonna come in that area, like you see how full it is, like they almost got caught, right? But then it just instantly gone. Guard actually doesn't care at all. Guard literally doesn't even go investigate it or anything. Like it would be interesting if you could kind of like debate cops to coming to see what's happening in that area. You know what I'm saying? Like what if you could do that? They alerted the guy and then they just ran. So they probably like ECM jammed and ran or something. I don't know. You know, we don't know yet. It's kind of once again straightforward stealth though, like just how Payday 2 is. Once you learn the aspects of the game, you know, mode, it's literally just same thing each time. That's just from what I just seen. You know, I don't know. Maybe each time the mission will be completely different. Like that'd be interesting to see, but I don't know how true that'll be. To kind of wrap things up here, I'm sure this is a video that everyone's already seen. It's from a pretty large creator. I just want to kind of skim through some areas here and just go over some key, you know, interesting, you know, things that I found interesting.
The main two currencies in the game, at least on launch, will be money, which is just cash earned through heisting, and C stacks, which I believe are the equivalent of continental coins, can be used to buy certain items. I can tell you right now, Payday, the whole screen with the cards, that's gone. No
Wait, what do you say?
items.
So money and
Payday,
C stacks.
the whole screen with the cards, that's gone. No more like random reward. That isn't there, and that's not a bad thing. It doesn't weapons,
No, I meant to pause it, sorry. So from this screen here, he mentions that there's going to be two forms of currency. One being just like money that you get from heists. Another one being like C stacks, which, you know, maybe continental coins essentially. He's saying that you can buy items / earn through challenges or using money. C stacks are not the MTX. I'm not sure what MTX is standing for here. But from what we were seeing, that one screenshot where they had like a micro transactions or whatever, that could be still what these C stacks are, like what this other form of currency might be. My real thoughts on that would be like, it'd just be for money, obviously. Like they're only going to be doing that for money because they know that they've designed the game in a way to where they're barely going to give the player base C stacks, so therefore they're wanting the players to buy them. You know what I mean? I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I would assume in this scenario here. If they're wanting you to buy, microtransaction currency and they're going to force two forms of currency, they're probably not going to give you a good amount of this currency while playing. So therefore you're going to have to accommodate that if you're not so good at the game by buying currency, so therefore they can make money. That's just my thought process.
I'll tell you right now, Payday, the whole screen with the cards, that's gone. No more like random reward. That isn't there.
I don't even know what he's talking about. The with the COD and the random reward, buy the stuff with the money. What?
So you have both
Okay.
level and XP.
So apparently there's infamy level and XP. So infamy level is essentially just a player level. It can go up through challenges, completions, unlocks items for purchase, and also unlocks skill points. So instead of having levels and infamies, now it's just infamy level, and that's just your normal level. From what it's sounding like, I don't know, it just sounds like everything's going to be based around level like it was in Payday 2. All the guns are going to be based around, X amount of level to unlock this weapon. Like, that's not the best idea, but it's not the worst idea either. XP is used to research skills to unlock them. So as people were saying in my Discord, is like you can research like any skill without having to just like go through the skill tree to get that skill. I don't know how these skill trees are really gonna play out. I don't think that they're gonna be good they're gonna be good, obviously, if you're just gonna be able to cherry pick through whatever skills that you want, then you're just gonna grab the exact skills that you want and make whatever. While in the past, with Payday 2, you had to have like some science and thought process into what skills you're actually grabbing, and then what skills that you'll need to get to the skills that you're wanting, right? Yo, what's up, my man, Ocular Goose? Like that way of playing was actually really interesting because it actually like promoted the player to actually like kind of understand the skill trees and kind of know what process of things that you're going to want. Understanding from currently the way that these things might be working, you might be able to just kind of make a completely easy build just as soon as you get enough levels without having to just, oh, I need 80 levels to make Stoic good. You might be able to just grab the stuff that you need with 20 levels and then you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Page. There's also a weapon XP system, which is pretty much exactly like Call of Duty. I'm assuming you get weapon XP through getting kills with your weapon. The page looks like Call of Duty.
That's terrible to hear, dude. Jesus Christ. So apparently there's weapon XP, right? The way you level up it, he just said, was to get kills. So literally just kill whoring is what players are gonna do. I was never a fan of kill whoring in Payday 2. So for them to make a system like this in Payday 3, like, are you for real? You're just gonna promote players to want to kill things rather than do the fucking objectives and win. Like, what the fuck?
No. It has like the little numbers in the top right, and then on the left you've got a big list of attachments, and there's no more quantity system. You just have the attachment. I believe once you've unlocked.
So you just have the attachment. So does that mean you have to like still use money to like unlock it? So what he was saying there was, let's say you have an AK. On the left side of your screen, you'll be able to put a sight on it, any sight that you want. You'll be able to put maybe a suppressor on it. You might be able to put like a new grip and like a different stock. And at the top right of the screen is going to be like the level of your gun, and the level's determined by like the amount of kills that you're getting. You know what I mean? Instead of the amount of XP, that you're yielding on the gun, like let's just base it around kills. You keep telling me objective is the most important. Nah, bro, kills. And they are making them do it. Twitch, what's up, man? Tradesman. On average, players will reach around level 70 naturally through generic challenges.
So that's good. Max infamy level is 150, so I assume at that point you have everything in the game unlocked. Didn't really look.
So when you're level 150, you'll have almost everything in the game unlocked. Are you for real? I know you guys can't see it, but like, are you for real? Literally, people playing the beta, level 74, level 150, level 1, like what? These people, or whoever, if it were, you know, certain people, they haven't played the game for like 40 hours or anything. Like at max, like people have only played it maybe like 20, 25 hours, you know what I mean? Like you're telling me that people already have max level by the beta or whatever. Like Jesus Christ, like what? That doesn't sound too logical. Let's get into the skills now.
Whichever one you want, without any 21 skill points total. I just didn't have enough time with the skill system. I mean, didn't really look at challenges much though. So I want to be honest, I just didn't have enough time with the skill system. I mean, the gist of it is 21 skill points total.
21 skill points total. So back then, you had 120 skill points. With 120 skill points in Payday 2, you'd get yourself more than 21 skills. So I guess in Payday 3, you have 21 skills.
Skills to pick from, you can pick whichever one you want without any obligation, without needing to ace it. As long as you have it unlocked, you can select it. And to make sure skills are unlocked, you have to research a skill tree. And this kind of works similar
So researching a skill tree.
to how perk decks work in Payday 2. Selected, all your XP goes towards it. Also, buffs have been streamlined into 3 mechanics called Grit, Edge, and Rush.
Wait, what do you say?
And these also buffs have been streamlined into 3 mechanics. Selected, all your XP goes towards it. Also, buffs have been streamlined into 3 mechanics.
What words is he saying? I don't get the words he's saying.
Also, buffs have been streamlined.
Also, buffs have been streamlined into 3 mechanics. Is that what he says? Holy shit! I would have never have guessed that. Oh my god. So wait, bring it back. Hold on. What did he say? Also, buffs have been streamlined into 3 mechanics. Does that mean you choose through the 3 or you get the 3?
Edge and Rush, and these can be activated contextually based on the skills that you select. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest on this one. I mean, I don't have enough time with it. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to just Edge and Rush, and these can be activated contextually.
Contextually, I don't even know what the fuck that means, dude. Contextually. Oh god. How did he pronounce that word? Jesus. Context, you ally. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Definition. That's a big word right there. In a way that regulates due context or circumstances surrounding an event, statement, or idea. So you can. What's wrong, Rocky? I didn't know the word, so I had to look it up, my dude. So I would assume these are things that you can change at like the beginning of the mission or whatever. Like, oh, this time I want 10% more damage. Oh, actually I want to move faster. Or I want to take 10% less damage. You know what I mean? Like that's something I would assume is probably done at the beginning of a mission. I'm not too sure. The last thing not the last thing, but the next thing I really want to look into is the weapons here. So I've already had mentioned this like when we had literally watched the trailer the first day, but I was mentioning that there really wasn't that many weapons that were shown. So he shows like a 44 revolver, or a revolver. Not really sure what the Rhino is, and a 1911 is a mag-fed pistol. The Signature 40s in Payday 2, it's a mag-fed pistol. The Strike 7, not fully auto. You know, once again, mag-fed pistol. The cam died because I'm trying to show you guys the fucking stuff in the background. You can play some Assassin's Creed, we'll have fun, my man Tradesman. And then some tan-looking pistol reminds me of the TAC 45. So not really that many selections currently to the game. And then he also mentions, like, you know, it's a beta or whatever. But now here is the primary weapons. I didn't actually make a list of what I had witnessed as to what weapons that I witnessed, but this would probably be what my list would look like. You know, apparently there's an AK. Obviously, they showed the AK multiple times, just customized differently. They showed the Car 4, so that's what it was, the Car 4. Some kind of Galil. So the Gleel is essentially like an AK, but it shoots like 5.56 or some shit. The MP7, we've seen that already in the gameplay, so it's nothing too crazy to see. MPX, we've seen that inside the stealth gameplay. Mac 11, Uzi, Engram, kind of gun. Technically speaking, all of these guns are completely different. The Mac 11 and like the Engram 11 are like the two that would be really close. The Uzi is completely different looking body, makeup and fire rate and whatnot. So I wouldn't say it's a kind of looking like these guns, but I didn't get to see the guns, so I'm not too sure. But to note that it's a primary weapon to use an SMG, that may not be the best idea. A SCAR, but it's a DMR, so it must shoot single fire. A 308, called SA something, so maybe another DMR with the 308. A pump shotgun, a singular pump shotgun, I want to point out. A Moscone, the Moscone must be the double barrel that we're seeing all the time. The R700, called Rhinefield's 900. So another shotgun, essentially, is what it seems. He goes on and like talks about the weapons here. I'm not really gonna go ahead and talk about it or hear it.
So in Payday 3, weapon customization is kind of crazy. I mean, you can get every bit of the gun a different color if you want. I mean, it made some really weird abominations. Like, you can have the charging handle a color, you can have the slide.
So essentially, he's just saying you can literally change any pieces of the gun. R700 is a sniper rifle in Payday 2 because it's the name they made it. The R700 was a real life gun that dude was mentioning in his video. And then beside it, he typed Rhinefield 900s, which is a shotgun because the Rhinefield in Payday series represents a shotgun, The Rhinefield, what's the real gun called? Like Springfield or some shit, I can't remember. Or Remington, I think is what it is, the Remington shotgun or some shit. Like that's what the Springfield is probably like trying to mimic. This thing right here don't really, it's you can already customize your guns in Payday 2, but this here is saying that every piece of your gun is customizable. It is what it is. Same thing with mask, heists are customizable, difficulty, that's what I want to see. So he's got some difficulty here.
No more mayhem, no more death sentence, and I was going to upset some people. Back to basics. You got normal, hard, very hard, overkill. The health of the enemies, it's the same between every difficulty. And for me, that's huge. For me, that's like, oh my god. And I believe the higher difficulty you choose, the better the AI becomes. I believe the spawn cap goes up a little bit. Also, I'm pretty sure high difficulty, at least maybe just overkill, adds more objectives. I'm not really sure what they are. Overkill is no joke, okay? I mean, this is going to be a game where newbies go back to overkill. No, newbies go back to like normal. This is
okay. He's just making silly jokes because that's what it is. Okay. So the difficulties he named. So there's no like death sentence. Blah 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 blah. What I heard from that was So it's gonna be like back to like Payday the Heist style. There's still multiple different difficulties, but there's not as many. He had mentioned that the health is the same in every difficulty. There's two things to say about that. One, that might be a mistake. Two, the only reason they do that is because they want the players to base their builds around the same damage numbers, or whatever it's called. They're wanting to base everything around the same damage tier. That's what I'm trying to say. Because in like Payday 2, like throughout each difficulty scale, the HP of the enemies go higher and higher until like, Mayhem, it changes to like 960 for a heavy unit, and that's seen also inside Death Sentence as a 960. With that being, the forefront of the loud aspect, being everything sharing the same HP pool throughout any difficulty. As I just mentioned, it'll basically allow the player base to like set a build and the style of damage to always be consistent, instead of having like, oh, when Mayhem, it's 960, and Death Sentence, it's 960. But if we go to Overkill, it completely switches to where now your damage of things may be one-shotting enemies, or, you know, when you jump up to Death Sentence, your build no longer is as functionable as it was in Overkill. You know what I'm saying? Like, these would be the things in Payday 2. Things wouldn't be consistent. So you would see a build in, like, Death Sentence, right? Because that was always the thing. People would be like, oh, well, why don't you make builds for Death Wish, or make builds for, like, very hard? It's like, because if you're making a build for Death Sentence, it's viable for everything. So now in Payday 3, if you're just making things fit certain criterias of, like, damage, then you're probably good for the rest of the game or whatever. Like, oh, I can kill enemies with 6 bullets, you know, because it's what people do in Payday 2. They count the exact amount and fucking write it down and shit. Like, knowing this knowledge in Payday 3, like, oh, everything shares the HP the same, so therefore you can actually micromanage knowing how much ammo to use per enemy, blah, 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 etc. Like, you can make a huge list for, you know, the reasoning why here. Other than that, there really wasn't too many more things that I wanted to go into.
Apparently the game is definitely not.
Wait, what'd that say?
Hurry, disable the die packs.
But I'm looking forward to hearing what the full game has on offer. I mean, that's at least 8 tracks confirmed. Apparently
Wait, I didn't know what he said.
complete. I've got an example here.
Just don't
One more grungy guitars. I mean, they're still. Unless you get out at a certain point. Obviously, didn't really.
So Bolt Action Sniper is kind of strange. The sniper, I don't know what you're asking, Rocky, but so this confirms 8 heists. Okay, so let me break some stuff down for you guys real quick. How much time? Yo, what's up? Just chilling out, my dude. I appreciate you joining into the stream again. What's up, my man? Just chilling out. We're reacting to some Payday 3 stuff. And before I lose my train of thought, let me go ahead and react and finish what I was trying to say. So they've had how long to be working on Payday 3? And then let me break some stuff down for you real quick. When Payday 2 came out, you know, years down the line, they came out with a game called Raid World War II. They took Payday 2 money and pushed it into this game and made Raid World War II from Payday 2 money. Okay? Then that, you know, flopped, failed. No one really wanted to play a, you know, a Payday copy, but World War II style. Later down the line, they release Overkill's The Walking Dead, because Overkill's always wanted to make a zombie game, and they got their chance to make the, you know, their zombie game, and they made The Walking Dead for some reason. I'm pretty sure that even like hosted E3 or something. The point of that is, once again, is that used Payday 2 money, right? So around the time of like border crossing, like let me do a quick Google search or wiki, whatever you want to call it. So around the time of like border crossing, is when they, for Payday 2, is when they started re-releasing content for Payday 2 to start funding for Payday 3. To my knowledge, if I'm wrong about this, someone please correct me. But to my knowledge, they started releasing the border crossing and the Silk Road, or whatever it's called, literally to fund Payday 2, or to fund Payday 3. So that would be November 7th of 2019. Today's date is literally the 28th of June, 2023. That means they've had what, like, they've had a lot of time is what I'm getting to here. Multiple years is what they've had. So once again, 2019, around the era of time period that they started to fund for Payday 3. So you're claiming that when the game comes out, it only has 8 heists. That is not a good sign at all. Like, come on. they're like, this is something this is what Ronky Star said in chat one time. He had mentioned that the game looks like a game that you'd make in like a couple months. And like it's just seeming so accurate. Like every time we see stuff like this, and like only 8 heists possibly on release. Like that's not going to be a good idea, at least in my opinion. Other than that, I mean, like, I want to look at the menu here.
It does run off dedicated servers. I don't really have any extra details on that, but
It just runs off dedicated servers, so nice, I guess.
So talking about the menu, it's very similar to
8 heists, 4 years. Yes, 8 heists in only 4 years, bro. That's wild. Just chilling out. Nice emote. So this is what the menu looks like. Oh, go back. So what he's showing here, so lobby and matchmaking, instead of it being on the right side, now it's going to be on the left. Your character is going to be mostly in the middle of the screen. There's going to be some stuff at the top. Your money and continental coins and your level is going to be at the top here as well. So I mean, pretty, basic, I guess. I mean, not too crazy.
Just has 4 of the guys in there, you see their outfits, you see the masks. I mean,
I don't
care. Previews are like, I think when 3 people ready up, it actually starts a countdown now.
Okay.
Previews are actually no longer like a white silhouette; they're actually like the proper model, like if you know the FBI files, that kind of thing. There's a vendor page, which is where you sort of buy weapons or tailor pack stuff like masks and stuff like that. Gage is back, by the way. Gage is back. I don't know.
So he said something about vendors, there's a weapon page, and Gage is back. Like, there's just too many things getting said all at once, but so less than 4 heists on launch. Wait. What'd you say? Just chilling out. So 4 less heist on launch. When Payday 2 came out, it was like 12 heists. Not peer-to-peer anymore. Dedicated servers. We'll get Gage ass pack for Payday 3. Free in Payday 3. I have no idea. Once again, cool kind of, to see the menu sort of thing. Gage is back, whatever. Don't really know or even need to know why. Weapons are now actually textured instead of being like blueprints. Like, that's interesting as well. I mean, there's not really much else to say because there's not really any more gameplay to really watch or react to, so therefore it's pretty much the end of this video here. From what I had seen, also, once again, I think the loud aspects, they're focusing too heavy on the reload. The reload takes too long. There really wasn't too many new mechanics from the loud aspect. Like, you have like armor bag, which is already in Payday 2, but it's like serving a different purpose in Payday 3 now. You know what I mean? Like that could be something you see, like a camera you throw on the wall. Like, there's not really too many new aspects to the loud, but that's okay because loud, the fun of loud always has been trying to, win with your team. In stealth, though, on the other hand, if you're a stealth player, be very excited for stealth because there's a boatload of new stuff in stealth. The only thing I will say about that, though, is that just like in Payday 2, like, once you learn everything that's there, like, it's pretty much it. Like, you're just GG. Like, if you learn where the sensors spawn, you learn where the diffuser box is for the sensors, you learn, like, all this stuff, like the guard spawns. Like, that's pretty much all you'll need to know at that point. Like, it's not like anything hidden that you won't be able to identify, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be there in front of you to see, essentially. It's the same thing in Payday 2. If you know where the guard spawns are, the cameras are, and the objectives are, that's it. That's all you need to know in Payday 2. Same thing in Payday 3, but now you just add like sensors and cameras and fucking lasers, and once you know where all this stuff is, pretty much the same gist of playing. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. This is my reaction and thought process from a 13k hour player in Payday 2.